that is in short ECOWAS, Community Court of Justice, to seek resolution of this matter. We also indicated that we would rather take similar action for Lateef Idrissi for similar reasons. In the case of Ahmed Swali, our international partners, including the Federation of African Journalists, FAJ, and the International Federation of Journalists, IFG, have also indicated their readiness to pursue justice for the investigative journalists at other international forums. Colleagues, I am here to report to you that just yesterday, I had a meeting with the Inspector General of Police, Dr. Ekufu Dampare, to discuss this and other matters. The IGP gave me heartwarming assurances in dealing with these issues, and to that extent, we wish to highly commend him. While holding the assurances of the IGP in good faith, we still remain faithful to our demands, and that if we don't see or hear anything concrete from the police after the end of March 2025, we shall proceed to the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice to find justice for Swali and Lateef. Once again, we urge the Inspector General of Police, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, and the President to take in interest in these cases. I must admit that the IGP assured us of his full cooperation going forward and promised to work closely with the GJA and its regional commanders in the regions where some journalists have been attacked to ensure that the issues raised with him receive prompt response and reaction from the police. Attacks against journalists. Colleagues, in our maiden press conference, we also addressed the barbaric attack on Ahimi Teria of the Multimedia Group Limited by a mob of illegal small-scale miners operating in the offense shelter Belt Forest Reserve. Ahimi Teria, while leading a joint news team to cover a police operation to clamp down on the activities of the illegal miners, was nearly killed by the mob. We also record how Erastus Asare Donko, another journalist of the Multimedia Group Limited, was brutally assaulted by small-scale miners last year. As we speak, 1 month after the attack on Ahimi Teria and 1 year after Erastus was brutally attacked, the police have not yet prosecuted the perpetrators to ensure justice for our injured colleagues. While grappling with the attack on Ahimi Teria as the first case of assault against journalists in 2025, the count became rapid when 6 journalists were assaulted within a space of 1 week in the month of February. 4 of the attacks occurred in Kumasi in the Ashanti region and 2 at Walewale in the Northeast region. It is very sad to note that in the month of love, when people are demonstrating love to their dear ones with red gifts, our colleagues who were in the line of duty were made to see red blood as reward for serving Mother Ghana. It is also disheartening to note that just about 50 days into the second John Mahama administration, we have witnessed even 7 cases of assault against journalists. And I stress on that it is also disheartening to know that just about 50 days into the second John Mahama administration, we have witnessed 7 cases of assault against journalists. This is unprecedented. Colleagues, in the Kumasi incident, the 4 journalists were assaulted on February 11, 2025, while covering the election of the Ashanti region representative on the Council of State. The election took place at the Regional Coordinating Council, the office of the Regional Minister, Ashanti Regional Minister, who is also the chairman of the Regional Security Council, in short, RECSEC. Strangely, some thugs managed to invade the premises to disrupt the election process and viciously assault the 4 journalists. Colleagues, the GJ Ashanti region assisted the victim to go to hospital and report the matter to the police. Our intelligence suggests that the thugs and criminals who assaulted the journalists are supporters or sympathizers of the ruling National Democratic Congress, NDC. Unfortunately, no arrest or prosecution have been made. The mind-boggling question is, if RECSEC cannot provide security in its own backyard, how can it provide security elsewhere? This only sends warning signals that Ghana is heading towards a state of anarchy. It appears there's no law and order, and there's no security in the country. That is most unfortunate. Colleagues, in the Waliwali's case, journalist Alassane Dukulugu of Asasi Radio and journalist Tahiru Ibrahim of ZA Multimedia were assaulted by military personnel while covering an incident involving the setting ablaze of a bus at Nelerigu Junction. The incident occurred in the presence of the police, but they neither protected the journalists nor arrested the perpetrators, as the police are mandated to do by law. We once again call on the Ghana Police Service, as promised by the IGP, to bring the perpetrators to face justice. We will not end there. We also call on the Military High Command to investigate this incident and sanction the wayward military personnel. The assault of the 2 journalists at Waliwali and other incidents of lawlessness and impunity across the country fortify our belief that Ghana is heading to a state of anarchy, and people of good conscience must resist and halt that trend. We also intend to petition the Military High Command over the Waliwali incident, since it involves a soldier. And we trust in the competences. We trust in the competence of General Thomas upon Prepara, the Chief of the Defense Staff, to do the needful to bring his boy to order. Colleagues, there were some disturbing issues that attended the Waliwali incident, which need to be addressed frontally. First, after the journalists had produced their ID cards to establish their identity, the soldiers allegedly asked why they, that's the journalists, were not wearing branded jackets. We wish to make this clear that in as much as wearing of branded jackets may be desirable for journalists in their field of work, even for their safety and security, not doing so does not take away their real and true identity. And we dare say it does not in any way whatsoever warrant assault. It is also not the duty of a soldier or police, our men and women in uniform, to tell a journalist the attire to wear as clearance for discharging their constitutional watchdog mandate. Their job is to protect journalists and civilians from harm, not to subject them to harm. and their mandate is to assist journalists and civilians, not to assault them. The second issue is the assertion made by the security personnel that the journalists could not cover the incident because they, that the security personnel, were undertaking an operation. That is absolutely false. We are not aware of any law that shields security personnel from media scrutiny in the public space. In fact, there are many instances where the courts have ruled in favor of media coverage of the activities of security personnel in the public space. So for the police and military to operate with such mindset is tantamount to lawlessness. Colleagues, we wish to take this opportunity to appeal to one of our own, senior member of this fraternity, the President of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama, to take a personal interest in these cases as the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and ensure that the perpetrators are arrested, arraigned, and punished for their crimes. In making this appeal, we remind the President of the commitment he made to the media and the nation on 7 July 2024 at the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel during a media engagement. On that occasion, I, on behalf of the GJ and the media fraternity, asked President Mahama, then flag bearer of the NDC, about his thoughts on the privatization of the state-owned media and assault against media practitioners. The President said he was against, yes, the President said once again, he was against both instances and pledged to promote the interests of the media at all times. This is the time we expect the President, who is one of us, to redeem his pledge and to share in the plight of journalists. We shall continue to remind him of his assuring words. We hope he will not give us cause to believe those words were mere rhetoric. Undesirable media practices. Colleagues, we do not always cry about negative treatment against media practitioners. We also decry negative media practices, both with a view to ensuring free and responsible media. Our attention has been drawn to one of such negative media practices, which we wish to address promptly. It is about the designation of the midday news on Angel FM. They call it orgasm news. We think using the word orgasm to christen the midday news defiles decency in journalism. We urge the management of Angel FM to be positively innovative and find an angelic name for the midday news. Taking counsel from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23. All things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. All things are lawful, but not all things edify. American Standard Version. The management of Angel FM ought to appreciate the mission of angels. They bring good news, not orgasm news. Issues of national concern. Colleagues, in our maiden press conference for this year, we justified the mandate of the GJA to address critical issues of national concern and not just those bordering on the media. We made reference to our broad watchdog mandate under Article 162, Clause 5 of the 1992 Constitution as the basis for justification. As the basis for such justification. Proceeding from that tangent, One critical national issue we wish to address today is the high cost of locally produced chocolate. As you can see, we've demonstrated some here. There has always been a clarion call on Ghanaian and other nationals resident in the country to consume made in Ghana products. There is also a good reason for renaming Valentine's Day as National Chocolate Day in Ghana and dedicating the month of February for chocolate consumption, the month of love. We are all expected to show love with chocolate to our dear ones on Chocolate Day. Is it not the case?
Yeah.
But the price of locally produced chocolate is too high and way beyond the pockets of the middle and lower classes of society. For instance, one bar of golden tree chocolate is sold at wholesale price for 25 Ghana cedis at the Cocoa Board shop in Accra. In other shops, the same bar of chocolate is sold at retail price for 30 Ghana cedis, while on the streets it is sold for 40 Ghana cedis. How many Ghanaians can afford this with the current minimum wage of 18.15 pesos? They cannot afford this. But since their taste buds are active and they may crave for chocolate, the reasonable thing for them to do is to resort to foreign products at the detriment of our national economy. Why can't Ghana, the second leading cocoa producer in the world, produce chocolate at affordable prices for Ghanaians to enjoy the fruit of their labor and the gift from their maker?
On that chocolatey note, that's the GJ President, Albert Jumfor, speaking to a number of issues in relation to press attacks as at the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council during the election of the Council of State Rep for the region, amongst many other things, speaking to what happened there, and also as well in relation to updates in relation to the investigations into the murder of journalist Ahmed Hussein Swale. There's some news as well right now from the quarters of the Office of the Special Prosecutor having to do with his declaration of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as a wanted man and a fugitive from justice. That update is simply put that Mr. Ofori-Atta is no longer a wanted man. Now, according to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, lawyers of Mr. Ofori-Atta have communicated a tentative date upon which he can make himself available here in the country to answer upon the demand by the OSP to appear before them and answer questions in relation to the 5 cases of corruption which is being investigated by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. That, in effect, according to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, does not make Mr. Ofori-Atta a wanted man any longer. Hence, he's been removed from their wanted list. But the OSP has extra details in relation to this latest communication by the lawyers of Mr. Ofori-Atta, in that should he fail to make himself available on the date as communicated by his lawyers, then they will have no other option than to put him back on the wanted list and label him as a fugitive of justice while seeking all legal means to have Mr. Ofori-Atta return to the country to answer questions with respect to these 5 cases, which include the SML deal, monies appropriated towards the National Cathedral Project, the ambulance purchase saga, amongst many others. The Office of the Special Prosecutor says Mr. Ofori-Atta is no longer wanted, as he or his lawyers have communicated to his office a date upon which Mr. Ofori-Atta will be returning onto the country. There's details as well with respect to other persons who've been placed on this wanted list by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. All of that and more, and possibly the date as communicated by lawyers of Mr. Ofori-Atta as to when he will make himself available in the country will be captured if you join us a lot later on News 360. But that's the news that's just coming through from the quarters of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Mr. Ofori-Atta no longer a wanted man because he's communicated via his lawyers to the Office of the Special Prosecutor a date upon which he will attend upon the invitation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. That's the latest, and that's it from us here right now. Normal programming will resume, but like I mentioned, a lot more details on 3news.com and on our various social media handles, as well as on News 360 if you wait upon us at 7 p.m. I am Awena Egbeta.